I think I'm just like anybody in the sneaker world that's taking a look at this shoe, the upcoming release of the Nike Air Jordan 1 Hi Dark Mocha. The first time I saw it, I instantly thought of these guys right here, the Cactus Jacks, and I'm expecting you guys out there thought exactly the same thing. You cannot get away from the echo, the shadow of those Cactus Jack Air Jordan 1s, which were one of the biggest sneakers of last year, if I remember rightly. Sometimes it's hard to remember when sneakers dropped. Did it drop at the start of this year, last year? But it's one of the biggest shoes of the recent times, let's put it that way. And then when you see a shoe like this coming out, you know, there's too much similarity for there not to be some kind of overlap between the two. And as you know, if you're a regular watcher of my channel with these daily videos that I do about upcoming sneaker releases, they're always researched to checking out as much as I can about the video about the sneaker and about what the story is, you know, important parts about, say, the materials and the details on there. And one of the things I read was that the Jordan line rarely, if ever, goes with earth tones on their Jordan 1 sneakers. They're usually not the browns or the tans or those kind of hues. I'm not saying never, I'm just saying that they're rarely. So then when this comes along, you know, it just reinforces that point that surely there is some kind of connection between this upcoming release of the Dark Mocha and those Cactus Jacks from before. So, and then when we look at it, you know, there are some things that are similar, but there are actually quite a lot more. There are more differences, to be honest, between the two shoes. And it does have a sort of standalone feel to it, but you just never get away from that brown, white and black vibe that comes from the Cactus Jacks. So what we're going to do today is we're going to take a look at those Dark Mochas and look at the details throughout, you know, where the different branding points are, material points, color choices, that kind of stuff. Do a couple of comparisons back to the Cactus Jacks to see where there are differences and similarities. And then, you know, a final sort of statement about whether or not we think this shoe is going to fly or not. So without further ado, let's get into this and talk about the upcoming release of the Nike Air Jordan 1 Dark Mocha. This is the Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel. Tokyo Butter 23 Sneaker Channel this.毎日 アップするので毎日見てください. And every single day I bring you content about upcoming sneaker releases, sneaker news, and sneaker reviews. And this one's coming at you, I should know the date today, shouldn't I? I think it's October the 11th today. And this shoe drops on October the 31st, which is obviously 20 days in the future from the point of shooting the video. But I actually have about 5 videos in stock. So if I let those 5 videos roll, this video will come out to you guys on YouTube on like the 16th, which would be like 2 weeks before the drop date, which is usually what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming for about 10 days to 2 weeks before the drop date, so I can give you guys information about the shoe, and then you guys can make an informed choice about whether you get it or not. But having said that, between now and the 15th, when this video is scheduled to drop, there might just be other videos that come along, other sneakers that come along with an earlier release date, and I'll put them in the rotation ahead of this one. So at the moment, it's October the 11th. This video is scheduled to go up onto YouTube. Actually, I think it's on October the 16th for an October the 31st drop date. But that October the 16th might be pushed back by other videos that come along in the next couple of days. But we'll see, we'll see. And also, the reason I'm telling you that about that is because I'm going to shoot another video today or tomorrow about another Air Jordan 1 High, which is the Code.jp Midnight Navy, which is a beautiful shoe, also scheduled to drop on October the 31st, depending on some sites, but maybe on November the 14th, depending on other sites. And that'll be just the same as this. They might drop back to back on my channel. I don't mean in real life, I mean on my channel. These might go live on the channel, the Dark Mochas and the Midnight Navies one day after the other. But if other shoes come along that I want to plug into the rotation ahead of them, that might happen as well. So either way, they're definitely coming to the channel, starting with this one right here, the Dark Mochas. So like I said, I want to talk about the differences and the similarities between the Cactus Jacks, and we already talked about the base kind of colorway being brown, white and black, but where the brown and the white and the black happen is important in comparison. The white is pretty much in exactly the same place as the Cactus Jacks, and by that I mean the toe box, and by the toe box I mean the inner, if you like, the panel as opposed to the wraparound. And then you come back from that to the midfoot section, and you can see the midfoot is all white on there as well. A slight difference is that if you go high on the ankle, you can see on the Cactus Jacks it was black up there, but it's white on the Dark Mochas. So the white part of the shoe is pretty much the same. There's not much difference in there. And then if you go back down to the midfoot and talk about that white midfoot section, that black swoosh on there is exactly the same as the black swoosh that came on those Cactus Jacks, except for one tiny detail. just one little point you might have noticed, maybe nobody noticed. Maybe I'm the first to notice, but on the Cactus Jacks, the swoosh was back to front. And everybody knows that. I'm just kidding with you guys. Man, if somebody writes something in the comments down below, I'll be like, oh man. But the point being though, like, of course it's a regularly dimensioned swoosh. The Cactus Jack swoosh was both back to front, but also ever so slightly larger, but it was black. And in the case of these guys, black as well. But where we get the differences is in the brown placement on the shoe. The only black really on the Cactus Jacks was up that high top line sort of area on the ankle, and then the black swoosh, and then the white that we've already talked about. But there's a line that you can often draw through a sneaker, and I'll draw it through the Cactus Jacks very quickly to go from the toe box up the quarter line, along the lacing system into the wings, and then down to the heel cup. But in the case of the Cactus Jacks, that was all in a brown. Surprisingly, maybe not surprisingly, it depends on your perspective on it, I suppose. I was surprised that the brown on the Cactus Jacks is different from the brown on the Dark Mochas. The brown on the Dark Mochas is actually lighter, in my opinion, and it looks a little bit different. And again, that gives you that difference between the two shoes that I was talking about before, and saying that there are more differences than there are actually similarities. So for one, on the Dark Mochas, and you'll be able to see it right here on the green screen behind me, the heel cup and the wings on the side of the ankle there are both done in the Dark Mocha colorway, but that's slightly lighter than the brown that's on the Cactus Jacks. But then the lacing system, the quarter line, and the wraparound on the toe box is done in black. Now, a black toe box with a white layer, white inner, white panel on it is classic for Air Jordan 1s. So it's a good thing that they haven't gone with the brown on there. And I think maybe because the Cactus Jacks had that reversed swoosh, that gave enough sort of definition that allowed them to have brown in so many places across the shoe. But in the case of the Dark Mochas, you don't have that kind of point of interest, and so you need to break the shoe up a little bit more, and that's why I think they've gone with the brown wings, brown heel cup, and then the black lacing system, quarter line, and the toe box on these guys. So that's a slight difference between the two. And since we're talking about the toe box, it's not too hard to go a little bit lower onto the midfoot, and you can see the midfoot on these guys is very white, whereas on the Cactus Jacks it was kind of a sail coloured midfoot. Sail seems to be a 2019 thing, not seen it so often in 2020. Saw it a heck of a lot last year in 2019. And then one more place to go. I want to go up to the highest part of the shoe to look at two different things on there. One's a similarity and one's a difference between the two shoes. And we'll start with the similarity on the wings logo, because you've got that wing on the side in brown on both shoes, and then embossed on that you've got a black wings logo. And hopefully I'm finding a way to show you between the two shoes the commonality between those two. But a difference is if you go forward from that and have a look at the tongues, you can see on the Cactus Jacks it was red branding up there, whereas on the Dark Mochas they've stayed with the darker colours to match the shoe's narrative a little bit more. So all in all though, for me, I actually kind of dig this Air Jordan 1. I've been looking for an Air Jordan 1 to buy since I've got this channel. I've had this channel now for over, I'm going to say it's close to 680 consecutive days on YouTube non-stop. And I've had the channel for almost, it might be almost 2 years. I better check that out, because I did bi-weekly content for a while, and then in December 2018 I started doing daily content. And I wonder when I started that bi-weekly content. I bet it was pretty close to the middle of October, which is where we are right now. I better check that out. But since I've had the channel, I've been on that, I've had my eye out for an Air Jordan 1 to get, so I can actually do in-hand Air Jordan 1s, and this might actually tick the box for me. It's I just don't have the right wardrobe to wear very colourful shoes. So something in the earth tones is actually something I could pull off a lot better than something in a brighter colour. So so I'm seriously thinking about this, but then again, those Co.jp Midnight Navies are really clean. So that might be where I put my money, especially since it's a Japan-centric shoe, Co.jp Japan. It was a regional exclusive, I think, to Japan 19 years ago. So that might be where I put my money. But for now, though, time to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content. Like I say, I'm making this video 3 weeks ahead of the drop date. I don't know when you're watching it. Hopefully you're watching it sometime ahead of the drop date, so you can get an idea of what's in the shoe and decide whether or not you want to get your hands on them. For now though, it's time for me to sign off. Thank you guys for checking out the content, and then do what I do at the end of every single video, which is tell you that I do this every single day. And that means that you are guaranteed to see me tomorrow.